Hello, everybody. This thing is not made up. I did not create this. This is an actual pamphlet that I found in my grandfather's attic, and I scanned it and made this little slideshow presentation out of it for everyone here. It's a little slow and technical during the first couple of minutes of it, but then just about 2.5 minutes it gets pretty funny when you note the southwestern flavor that they are attempting to inspire their duck and cover message with. So watch and enjoy.
Local fallout from atomic attack. Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory of the University of California. This booklet, prepared in the public interest with the aid of the Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory's Health Division, is intended primarily for those who have expressed a need for a simplified introduction to the problems of local fallout and survival. For a more detailed treatment, contractor for the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, Los Alamos, New Mexico, February 1962. This is a city. An atomic bomb is falling toward it. Many persons will die in the blast. Hours after the explosion, many miles from the city, other persons will be in danger of injury or death because of the same bomb. This booklet is about the second kind of danger, called fallout. A nuclear explosion makes a cloud. The cloud may rise as high as 15 miles or more above the Earth. In the cloud are many tiny radioactive particles and also many larger particles of dirt and dust drawn up from the ground. As the cloud cools, many of the small radioactive particles become attached to the large dust particles. Very small particles in the cloud will float like smoke. The bigger and heavier particles of dirt and dust start falling back to Earth, bringing radioactive materials with them. The cloud will now move in whatever direction the wind carries it. The wind at high altitudes is usually different in both speed and direction from the wind near the ground. The fallout may reach you on the ground in less than an hour, or it may not reach you for many hours. This depends on your distance from the explosion and the speed of the wind. 12 hours after the explosion, most of the bigger particles have come to Earth. This is local fallout. Local fallout comes only from surface or low-altitude explosions. It falls only along the path of the cloud. It falls only within a few hundred miles of the explosion.
Up until this point, this warning could have been for any town, USA. Pretty general, we're just talking about the scientific aspects of things. This is where it starts to get a little spicy.
If your home is in the path of local fallout, the radioactive material reaching the Earth may be dangerous to your health or your life.
Alright, here we have our Pueblo-style house, with the old-timey antenna and 2 Ornos. And which is funny because some of the people I've met come out here from the east asked me if those were dog houses.
If fallout particles remain in contact with the skin, they may cause burns. People who have been outdoors in fallout should wash, with special attention to their hair.
Okay, bear in mind that this is 1962. Now, I'm not sure if these were just stock images or if somebody illustrated this, but looking at this, these ladies here in sort of a Middle Eastern attire with a ornate clay pot to wash themselves with, the running water might be a little out of commission, but this image looks a little hilarious.
The particles of fallout cannot penetrate anything, but the invisible radiation from them can. Small amounts of radiation won't hurt you, but large amounts may injure you or kill you. Your house will give you some protection, and this may or may not be sufficient to prevent injury.
Now, we're looking at this. We've already established the adobe building, and let's have a look at this little family here. Now, I'd guess that this is not the marketing tool that they're going to use in New Hampshire, Vermont, Florida even, maybe, California. No, there's only a couple, 3 states that this would work in.
Heavy, dense materials, such as iron or concrete, will stop radiation more effectively than light materials, such as pumice block or wood. For the same thickness, solid concrete gives better protection than adobe, and adobe gives better protection than wood.
Modern science, taking into account the native building techniques, have given us this little chart here of resistance to the the heat coming off the radioactive material that tells you which is the best building to be in. A glass building being the worst, but they threw in adobe in between wood and concrete. But I noticed that they did not put cliff dwelling, and I think that'd probably be your best bet.
If fallout is coming your way, you should seek some kind of protection. You should get as far away from the radioactive fallout particles as you can. You should get behind thick, heavy walls.
This guy here was smart enough to have built a 5-story tall Pueblo-style house with one huge room in the center of it that he can gather up. Pretty much it looks like the whole town into one room and protect them all from all the dangerous fallout. He's a pretty smart guy, but he ain't as smart as this next guy. We'll see.
Special shelters give better protection than houses. If you are interested in building a shelter, you should consult your local civil defense authorities.
One of the problems with the Pueblo-style house that they've neglected here is the roof. There ain't a whole lot flat roof. Maybe after everything's cleared up you can get up there and sweep it off or vacuum it or something, but underground bomb shelter's your best bet.
Most of the fallout particles will remain where they land, on the ground or on your roof, but the radiation from them will get weaker as time passes. It may be safe to go outdoors again after you have spent a few hours or days in your house or shelter.
The day has finally arrived. Fallout is cleared from the skies, and we've received the signal that it's safe to come out and resume our fiesta.
It is preferable not to eat foods which have been left exposed and which may contain large amounts of fallout material. But food contaminated by germs is more dangerous than food contaminated with radioactive materials. Raw fruits and vegetables from trees and gardens will be completely safe, but should probably be washed.
Once again, bear in mind that this is 1962, and I'm not too sure even then how many houses had these little crank-type wells out in the front where you would lay out your hand-woven blanket to wash your potatoes on the ground. But maybe the public works in this area are not providing the water, so...
Milk or meat from domestic animals will be perfectly safe if the animals appear healthy. It is preferable to use water from covered sources, but no serious effects will result from drinking water even if it contains some fallout.
While the women folk are tending to the vegetables, washing fallout particles, the men can resume bow hunting cattle in their backyard. I don't know who the ethnic research team might have been that was trying to put these ideas together, but the more I see it, it's a lot of fun.
The best protection against local fallout is world peace. If that fails, it is important that you survive to rebuild. In the event of nuclear warfare, life will be changed for many people. There may be no electricity or gas, and gasoline may be difficult to obtain. The dangers and problems of fallout may be very much less than the later difficulties during recovery from a nuclear war. Your continuing survival may depend on advanced planning and preparations.
That's right, people. World peace is the answer. And you look at this construction crew here and you see, that if any one of these guys or all of them swings that hammer, the next guy in line is going to get hurt. Thus concludes our video. I hope you enjoyed it.